Guys, FPL.CARNAGE here, and welcome to another FPL video, another early midweek deadline. So don't forget to set your teams before the deadline. We're going to talk about my game week 28 team and take a look at what my 29 team selection is looking like going into the game week. Also going to take a look at some of the transfers that I have already made. I had to make a couple of transfers early so as to beat price rise because of the money I had left in the bank. So we're going to take a look at some of the transfers I've brought into my team in my game week 29 team selection. So let's take a look at what my game week 28 team looked like. In goal, I had Dubravka. It was a coin toss between him and Sanchez. I went Dubravka. Unfortunately, he conceded 4 goals in that game against Brentford to return 0 points, no save points. In defense, I had Timber and Gabriel, double Arsenal defense, who returned 8 points and 9 points respectively. Timber getting the winning goal for Arsenal in that game against Chelsea. Gabriel getting the assist for the first goal and picking up DEFCON points as well as a couple of bonus points in that game against Chelsea. So he returned 9 points. Virgil van Dijk, my transfer in going into the game week, returning a goal in that game against West Ham. Unfortunately, he couldn't pick up DEFCON points, but he did return 7 points. And my defense. Now moving on to my midfield, I had Morgan Rogers, who started off the game week against Wolves. Honestly, I expected more from him in the past 2 game weeks since I've had him. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to return anything. Another 2-pointer from him to that 2-0 loss against Wolves on Friday. Semenyo, my second midfielder, getting the goal for Manchester City to give them the win against Leeds in the Saturday fixture. He has looked like one to go to for Manchester City when it comes to attacking output for them so far. So he's been really good on so far. Wilson, my other transfer in, returning a goal and an assist and 2 bonus points in that game against Spurs. 12-pointer for him. Mbeumo, 2 points. His first blank in his last 2 games. Unfortunately, he also got subbed off around the 60th to 70-minute mark. No haul for him, just 2 points. And Bruno Fernandes, my 5th midfielder, who was my vice captain as well, returning 26 points in that game against Crystal Palace. He got a goal and got an assist to help Manchester United clinch that win in that game, and also picked up 3 bonus points. He didn't get DEFCON points, but he was still able to return 13 points. Up top, I started the game week with Haaland and Thiago. Haaland unfortunately was not able to play. He was my captain for that game against Leeds, but he wasn't fit to play. So my captain automatically went to Fernandes, who returned 26 points. Haaland then dropped to my bench, and Matheus Mane of Wolves returned 2 points in the game against Aston Villa on Friday. My second attacker was Thiago. He got a goal in that game against Burnley to return 6 points for me. On my bench, Haaland dropped to the bench, returning 0 points. Mukiele with 0 points as well, and Goodmanson with 2 points in that fixture against Manchester City. Sanchez also returning 2 points in the game against Arsenal. So 82 points. I did take a point hit, so that leaves me at 78 points, but still really good green arrow up to 1.2. Slowly but surely we're getting there. Next aim is to go into the top 1 million, and then we can see how we progress from there. Now moving on to my game week 29 team selection. I have already made my transfers. Like I said, I tried to beat the price rise because of the amount of money I had left in the bank. I had to make my moves a little bit early. So in goal, I'm going with Sanchez away at Aston Villa. I've learned that it's best to just start your best keeper. I do have Dubravka on the bench away at Everton. Now we may see another high scoring game. We may see a KG game, but I think it's best to just go with Sanchez, who is most likely guaranteed save points. It's going to be a tough game. It's at Villa Park. I think Sanchez can get something in this game. I'm not really banking on the clean sheet, but I'm hoping for save points in this game, so he's going to start for me. In my defense, I remain with double Arsenal defense, Timber and Gabriel away at Brighton. It's going to be a tough game in my opinion for Arsenal. They're going away to Brighton. They're playing at the Amex Stadium. It's not an easy ground to go to. Brighton usually like to give the big teams a tough time anytime they come there, so I think it's going to be a cagey game. I don't really see a clean sheet for Arsenal in this game. Hoping for some more attacking returns from my Arsenal defenders like we saw against Chelsea in game week 28. So I'm starting the both of them. I do also have the option of benching Timber to start Goodmanson at home to Sunderland. I don't believe Leeds are going to keep a clean sheet against Sunderland as well, but it's just an idea that I wouldn't mind, right? Having Goodmanson start over Timber. But Timber, we've seen, has really good attacking threat so far for Arsenal. So I don't know. I mean, At the moment, I'm going to stick with Timber. Most likely, I am going to leave it as Timber and Gabriel with Van Dijk as my 3 starting defenders. Now, moving on to my midfield, I have Bruno Fernandes away at Newcastle. We saw him finally get back to goal scoring form after 2 consecutive blanks. Away at Newcastle, we know that a couple of their players are out injured, key players like Livramento, Bruno Guimaraes and Woltemade. So it's just that you don't really know what version of Newcastle to expect, right? It's a game at St. James Park. It's not an easy ground to go to as well. So I don't know how I feel about putting my vice captain on him at the moment. United have looked on decent form so far, but I just don't know what to expect defensively from Newcastle. So it just leaves a bit of a question mark on whether I want to captain him or leave my vice captain on him. But my second midfielder is Wilson, who picked up a knock in that game against Fulham. He was supposed to be subbed off at halftime, decided to force his way through the game. Unfortunately, he had to get subbed off around the 70-something minute mark. He's currently flagged yellow in the game. We're waiting and hoping to see some positive feedback from the pressers, and hopefully he's fit enough to start the West Ham game. But he's currently starting for me in my midfield. My third midfielder is one that I just brought in, who is Dewsbury Hall at home to Burnley. He got an assist in the Everton game over the weekend. Also picked up a couple of DEFCON points. So I'm honestly looking forward to having him for this Burnley game. We know how good he is for DEFCONs. I feel like it's going to be a game he gets something out of. Hopefully goals, assists come for him in this game. And my fourth midfielder is Semenyo at home to Nottingham Forest. A really, really strong contender for captaincy this week in my opinion. He has been the brightest light for Manchester City in terms of goals and assists since he signed for the club in January. With the uncertainty surrounding Haaland at the moment, I think he's a really good choice for vice captaincy this week, right? If you aren't like sure whether you want to leave, take the captain armband off Haaland if you still own him, I think Semenyo could be a really good vice captain pick going into this game week. Now up top, I have Thiago away at Bournemouth. Hopefully, it's a game he can continue a goal scoring streak in. He has 18 goals so far this season. He's away at Bournemouth, Vitality Stadium, also not a really easy ground to go to. So I expect an end-to-end game from both teams, but hopefully Thiago can get on the end of some of those balls, get some goals in this game as well. Now my second attacker is Haaland at home to Forest. We're waiting for some pressers from Pep Guardiola to see what the situation is looking like with him. But my captain armband is going to remain on him just because it's a home game, and I believe Haaland, if he starts, he can get something out of this game, right? City have all to fight for, all to play for. I think it's just not worth the risk taking the captain armband off him and then we hear that he starts, because you're just not going to feel comfortable watching that game. So I think it's safer to captain him. If he does get minutes, we hope for the best, right? Hope that he gets goals in the game. But if he doesn't get minutes at all, then your vice captain comes into play, right? So he's going to start. He's my captain at the moment. I don't really see myself taking the captain armband off him. My third attacker is Ekitike, who I just brought in after his 15-point haul. Currently his best haul so far in the season. I think he has 5 double-figure hauls now in the FPL 2025-2026 season. He's going away to Wolves. Now, he should also be a really strong contender for captaincy this week. But so far, Wolves have conceded just 3 goals in their last 4 games, right? And I don't know how I feel about captaining Ekitike away at Wolves. We saw them come back from a 2-goal deficit against Arsenal. We saw them beat Villa with a clean sheet over the weekend. So I just don't know what to expect. I do believe Liverpool should win this game, but I just don't know what to expect as per attacking output from Ekitike. So that's why I'm not so certain about the vice captaincy or the captaincy armband on him, but he is definitely an option for me in terms of, captaincy or vice captain. Is one I'm also, keeping my eye out on going into the game week. Now on my bench I have Rodgers at home to Chelsea, Goodmanson at home to Sunderland, and Mukere away at Leeds, who is still injured. Now if the situation turns out that Wilson and Haaland aren't fit enough to start their games this week, then I have Rodgers and Goodmanson, who have decent enough fixtures to come in for them, so I'm not really worried about that, right? So I like the structure of my team. Like I said, my captain is on Haaland. Vice captain is going to continue alternating between Bruno, Semenyo, and Ekitike probably till the deadline. So yeah, this is what my team looks like. If you have any opinions, suggestions, please leave them in the comment section. Questions, I will also get back to them as soon as I can. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and share the video. And I'll see you in the next FPL video.